Chris Lee and Blake Lovell of Southeastern 14, presented by Stakes, here to preview Arkansas's trip to Auburn on Saturday. Blake, we don't have a line on this one as we speak, but the computers have got this as a toss-up. Ken Pomeroy, Bart Torvik, and BPI all have the favored team with anywhere between a 48 to 51% chance of winning this game. You put in the spreads from Pomeroy, Bart Torvik, BPI to the decimal, and it comes out as exactly I think Arkansas favored by 0.0 points. So whatever the decimal is we're missing there is what Arkansas would be favored by those three computers. In other words, this is a toss-up. Arkansas would be the better team on a neutral floor, but it's not on a neutral floor. It's at Auburn, and as we have noted, it is terribly difficult to win in other teams' buildings. Auburn is a crazy good atmosphere for basketball. Auburn also coming off a disappointing loss at Georgia. Arkansas coming off a big win over Missouri. That was in Fayetteville. It becomes a different ball game when you play in somebody else's building.
All right, hold on, Chris. I got a quick prop here. We're gonna try to do this one quick, but I got to get this prop in for this one. Yes, it should be a very close game, and so we've never done this before, but I wonder if we should just do this to decide the outcome of this game. So we're just gonna. Here we go. Heads Auburn, tails Arkansas. Oh, the Hogs. Looks like the Hogs are gonna find a way to win this one. No, but all seriousness, like it's this is kind of an interesting
That's
one
where we are.
because listen, flip a coin on this one. We literally might do that at the end of this video. I mean, look, we talked a lot about Arkansas and Auburn. We're not going to make this too long because if you watched our reaction video to Wednesday's games, we went in depth about both teams and kind of gave you a pretty good picture of where everyone's at. Arkansas coming out of the win against Missouri, Auburn coming off the loss to Georgia. So there's really, to me, not a lot outside of what we said. But if you combine everything together, two good defensive teams, I think two teams offensively that have their issues. Of course, the biggest issue is making shots from outside, although neither really has depended on that. But it's when they do get dependent on that, like Auburn did against Georgia, where they shot 28, only made 6, that becomes an issue. So two teams shooting less than, about 30% or less from 3. So I think that's the game plan for both, is to look at this and, we've seen zone and that kind of stuff played before against these teams. It's, will you kind of see how this plays out here and what the defensive matchups are? Because I think that's important, understanding that both have done a good job getting the free throw line. Both, with Auburn, you've got Broom. With Arkansas, you've got guys that can get to the rim. The play inside the perimeter is going to be a lot of fun here because that's where this game is going to be decided. And like you said, matchup wise, you can really break down both of these teams. There are a lot of similarities with what they can do. I think, from a size standpoint, I think there's some similarities. There are also some differences in terms of just how both these teams use their size. Probably a better way to put it in terms of their approach to the game. But yeah, this is like I said, this is a coin flip because you really break down both these teams, and it's a tough one because there's a lot of things that we'll kind of dive into here.
Well, there's a variable that we need to bring up on the front end, too. I will bring that up in just a minute. But first, a word from our presenting sponsor, Stakes. Predict sports better than the crowd for a chance to win NFTs. With Stakes, players can submit their sports predictions against friends, other fans, and influencers forever. Don't let your sports genius go overlooked. Join Stakes and have the best predictions captured in the moment. Head to playwithstakes.com/14. User invite code Southeastern14 for a double welcome bonus. Okay, the point I was going to make was on Nick Smith Jr., and perhaps people have just built in an expectation that he's not going to play. Just doing some digging on that as we're sitting here. Razorbacks Wire has got an interesting update. I will spare you the quotes and everything, but there's speculation that Rich Paul and Clutch Sports could just shut him down for the season. He hasn't played in I don't know how many games now, at least 2 or 3. And so Nick Smith, I would presume, is not going to be part of the equation in this one.
Well, and as we said in the game on Wednesday against Missouri, that changes things because
Sure.
it changes how Arkansas plays. But like we said, that's where Ricky Council has been one of the best players in the league to this point, and that that is going to continue to be the case. And that's where again you have to see how guys offensively can step up. It's like, is Joseph Pinion, is he going to give you 3 threes a game? Two of the past 3 games, he's 5 of 10 from three. That they need that. Like that's
Yeah.
something that they actually are going to have moving forward. So even if you looked at it and you just didn't anticipate him having to play a lot this season, now they kind of need him because they need some sort of presence out there, because beyond that, they don't have a lot from a shooting, and you need someone, just anyone, even if it's one guy. And like I said, Council can hit some, but you just need a guy that can make those kind of shots. And because that, does what? It kind of brings the defense out just a little bit, enough where, hey, we've got an opening for Anthony Black, we've got an opening for Davis and Council to do their thing. And so that again has changed how Arkansas is going to have to approach a lot of these games. And so yeah, I mean, look, I think Anthony Black probably scores more than 6 or 7, which the last 2 games, he scored 7 and 6 respectively. He hasn't had good games, hasn't really taken a lot of shots, but he's been on the floor 40 minutes in each of these 2 games. And he's going to be on the floor a lot again. I think the more they can get him involved, the better they're going to be offensively, just because he has that talent. We've seen that already this season. Um, so I think that's a key for Arkansas, is get Anthony Black more involved. But you can still lean on Ricky Council. Don't get happy with a three, which we can say that about both teams. But Arkansas's formula is still attack, attack, attack. It's just, defensively, they can make things easier too by forcing turnovers, which we've said that before, right? Auburn's a team that will turn the ball over a little bit. So from the Arkansas standpoint, I think that's the key. From the Auburn side, as we said, I mean, again, not to repeat myself, but this is the kind of game, and I think for both teams, like, right, Chris, we'd be surprised if either of these teams probably eclipse 70 points, just based on the style of play that's going to be necessary, I think, for both to win in this kind of game. A road game for Arkansas in the SEC, Auburn at home, knowing that you have some limitations shooting wise. I think that's the key here. And so, just from a matchup standpoint, I think that's it. For Auburn, it's make Arkansas shoot the ball. Anything jump shot wise. I think that's what you're doing. You're
Hmm.
trying to make them do that because you want to limit their ability to get the free throw line. You want to limit, their ability, Ricky Council's ability to drive and get to the free throw line. So I think that's the key on both sides. But these are 2 teams that are a work in progress offensively, and because for different reasons. Auburn just based on kind of the makeup of the rotation. Arkansas because they don't have Nick Smith. So when you combine those 2 things together, we're kind of joking earlier about this being a toss up, but that's why it's a toss up, is because I don't know that either side has that one identifiable, overwhelmingly great thing that they do better than the other when it comes to the offensive side. And so, I mean, there's a lot to it.
I've got two things I want to bring up with Auburn, one good and one bad, quickly. Before I do that, if you think betting $11 to win 10 stinks, try BROTHROW, which lets you bet on all 50 states. It'll let you bet 10 to win 10 because it's not the house. Bettors have a fair chance at winning. It's the only sports platform that doesn't take a cut of every bet. No minimum deposits, no minimum bets, no need to connect your bank account. Bettors pay each other directly. It's a hassle-free sign-up process that gets you in the action in seconds. Go to brothrow.com/SE14. Once you're there, ask to join our private group, Southeastern 14. Okay, Blake, Georgia the other night, its guards really gave Auburn problems. And Auburn at times has had problems defending elite guards, which Auburn's got. But Auburn's also got something in Janai Broome, who really gave Georgia fits, and he's been on a pretty good tear lately. He scored double figures in, what is it, about 10 straight games, got 22 his last time out, got 12 boards. Again, when you're playing at home, the whistle's a little differently, and he's going to be a bit of a handful inside for Arkansas to handle, I think.
And the Arkansas rotation, as we keep saying, is still small to this point in terms of, not that they don't have guys. Pinion played 27 minutes. He's a guard. Kamani Johnson, who we said was going to play more minutes, played 20. But that's where, right, you get a Mitchell, a Jordan Walsh, guys like that in foul trouble, and think about how that changes the rotation
Yep.
for Arkansas. And I think that's where a Broom can be huge in this game because, his impact will be significant if they can just continue to keep him involved, which they have. And, that will go a long way towards giving Arkansas a chance to have a lot of success here because, like we said, it just, we know Muss is still working through. I mean, every game's different, right? Like I think for Auburn or for Arkansas at this point, every game's different in terms of how they're going to have to shuffle and mix and match because every opponent's different. And I think this is one of those games where knowing what Broom can do, knowing that, he's kind of a guy who's probably going to give you a double-double and impact the game on both sides of the floor, how Arkansas game plans around that's going to be kind of interesting to see because, again, you get one of those guys in foul trouble, that changes the approach for Arkansas just because it's a different roster. And, you've already lost one guy that has size, right, with Brazil
Yep.
out for the season. And so, it's just, yeah, it definitely changes. And so we'll see how kind of, that plays out. But I don't know. Like I'm trying to figure out how to pick this game, but there's no, like you said, this is the closest game we've seen probably to the season, right? There can't be another game that we said is probably just a 0.0, like you said, if you add up all the numbers. So take your pick.
Maybe use Jeff Sagarin as your tiebreaker. I didn't check that one. But anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna probably oversimplify this. Okay, I think Auburn is due to play better. Auburn is brutally tough to beat in Auburn. So sometimes you sort of throw out the matchups and just say where are they playing, and what atmosphere is that going to be like? And look, Auburn has not lost away from home yet.
Auburn hasn't lost a home game
Well,
since.
I'm sorry. Auburn has lost away from. Auburn has not lost at home, is what I meant to say.
They haven't lost at home since. Hold on, let me pull this up. And I know Auburn fans have it on top of their head because it gets brought up every game, but I just can't remember it. They haven't lost at home since February 23rd, 2021.
Yeah, and that was a much different team than this one.
So that team was a 13 and 14.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, that's a good point. Is Auburn they just find a way at home. Like they've got this long home winning streak. We saw Arkansas not play well at LSU, and I think Auburn would use some similar, which Missouri did too, right? Missouri used some similar things from that LSU game in terms of how to defend Arkansas. Ultimately, just didn't work for 40 minutes. I think Auburn will use some of those same type of things that you saw from LSU. And Chris, here we go. For the first time ever, we're going to do it. We're going to the coin flip to decide who's going to win this game. And we're going to see. We're going to use this the rest of the season.
That's such a crutch.
No, it's not. This is fun. Come on. We're having, it's a prop. We're like, come on. Everybody has props. All right, here we go. Auburn is heads, Arkansas is tails. And here we go. Are we doing best 2 out of 3 or are we doing 1 here?
It's your call. You're using. I've made my pick. You're using the coin.
You're right. Yeah, I'm using the coin. Here we go. Oh, the Hogs. The coin.
Telling you the Hogs.
2 times in a row.
You've done it twice now.
I was gonna say 2 times in a row it said the Hogs. So, I don't know, man. There's something to the coin. But boy, beating Auburn.
Do you trust a piece of metal, a virtual metal, or do you trust me?
I do tend to trust Auburn's home winning streak more than you. But, so that's something. But again, coin don't lie. They say ball don't lie. The coin don't lie either. So there you go. There's our expert analysis on this 0.0% differential between Arkansas.
That's why we have grown so quickly. It's the virtual coin flip.
People are going to be asking for the coin flip moving forward.
They might. They might.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, we like to have fun with this. We take this seriously. We do our research. We cover a lot of stuff, and we're previewing every single SEC basketball game in conference play this year. Best way to get those, hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching Southeastern 14 presented by Stakes. We'll see you soon.